Alright guys, well this was a fun one. Inspections passed, interconnections approved, closing everything out. So we installed right around 35 solar panels on 3 different roof pitches. One of those was this detached garage, the other is the main dwelling structure. And along with installing about 15 kW of solar, we installed 3 Tesla Powerwalls. This is a Powerwall 3. Those are expansion units. So this entire house is on a 200 amp service. And power flow, there's a utility meter on the other side of that wall. Hits this panel here. There's feed-through lugs that go to the main house. And we'll show you where that is. We ended up putting in an 80 amp breaker. Most of these Powerwall jobs you do 60 amp breakers. But if you look here, during an outage with solar, you can actually push 64 amps with these guys. So installed a new surge protective device and ended up having to get the PV power from that roof through the yard over here. It's about an 80-foot trench run. So we dug that up, put it back together. We had over 360 degrees of bends in our conduit run, so we had to install this ground box. That was a fun surprise the inspector caught us with. And here's over here, so there was the main utility meter. And we got all of our DC power coming up into this J-box. And then the inverter output circuit coming out, hitting a bladed throw handle disconnect and a dedicated meter before we go into that panel. Now, for those of you that work with DC and AC, as you'll know, generally speaking, you don't want DC and AC in the same conduit or the same junction box. However, there's an exception I found in Article 690. I think it's 690.31 if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. DC and AC can be in the same J-box when it is specifically an inverter output circuit and everything is separated and labeled. So that allowed us to have a nice clean single J-box on this wire run. And lastly, at the homeowner's request, we installed a generator inlet on this guy. So this is just backup to the backup. So over here we installed this generator inlet. Again, if you're curious about power flow, you know the main breaker is really down there. There's feed-through lugs coming here. Then we got feed-through lugs going down to a span panel in the basement. We installed a new span 48 space. Ran a data cable from the basement to the Powerwall. And customer has automatic load shedding. So pretty fun project to be a part of. If you're interested in hiring us for your project, reach out to me.